Hello and welcome back to Industriegigant, and when we last left off we tried to make a fortune with plastic products, and this time around it will be even more difficult, although they did lower the target by 500,000 profit per year I believe, but this time around we only have like 4 or 5 products to work with because it's only sawmills on the map here in Switzerland someplace, so it's not going to be easy, wouldn't you think? Yeah, I did investigate the area a little bit further because I was in somewhat of a disbelief because only sawmills on the map. And as a reminder, since we already looked at this, we only have toy locomotives available in the toy industry. That's the only item we can make, and this is of course not very profitable in of itself. Then we have skis and snowboards in the sporting goods department, and I think once these are introduced, they will also reduce the demand of skis, even though once again they're also a target different audiences, at least you would think so. Otherwise we have picture frames and garden sheds, and nothing else really. So it's like 5 items in total, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 indeed. At the moment it's only 4 really. Okay, that will be pretty restrictive here. I mean, why restrict the player in this way? No, that's the question we have to be asking ourselves here. If I'm honest, frankly. Okay, so Zurich apparently is a good starting point. Especially if we focus on garden sheds and some picture frames. And the sawmill can deliver 8,000 something. I guess that we start with this, right? Need to get going here somehow. Okay, so it's plenty of demand certainly, and only 10,000 in demolition cost. That's a no-brainer, wouldn't you think? I think it's a no-brainer. But of course at the moment we can have any finance, trains or anything in between, so maybe we start with trucks again. Could not be such a terrible idea. But 74 picture frames and 46 garden sheds, there's no way we can satisfy this demand. But it wouldn't be terrible, wouldn't you think? Yeah, okay. Is there any other sawmill nearby we can utilize for this? Oh, there's a couple back here. So there shouldn't be any shortage of wood, I'm hoping here, right? This is a very dense forest, and we have like almost 30,000 combined, so that's not terrible. I'd like that. Yeah, but we only need more money, I can see as much here, right? So let's just, yeah, get some more dough here in our coffers, even though it's not our dough, of course, technically speaking. I would like to deliver both items if possible. This will be pretty hard a target to achieve, of course, since you only have wooden items to work with, and the rest of the map is pretty mountains per all accounts. Yeah, I think trains are the way to go for this operation. But we should preserve as much of the forest as possible. Ideally, we only need 1 tile as a reminder. Only 1 tile is required for this. For it to be in the catchment area. So the game is pretty generous in this particular respect. Yeah, this should do the trick for us. Also don't forget about double tracking the line once we get there. Back here, 2 tracks ought to be good enough, I'm thinking. Yeah, we know we're going to go out on this here anyhow, and platforms should be relatively cheap, I'm assuming. This can be a simple point-to-point delivery type of affair for now to get us started, something like that. Although, of course, the ratio isn't exactly equal. So maybe 1 additional platform isn't such a terrible idea after all to make this a bit more efficient. Yeah, something like that, I think it's fine. Now we should be able to finance a couple of locomotives at least. Yeah, hopefully. I guess we start with the selling angle first, right? Doesn't need to be the fastest train, of course. But the running costs do go down, so there's no reason not to buy them, essentially. Even though this is an electric locomotive, but we don't have any electrified rail in the game, of course. Yeah, okay, then we are broke yet again. That's what I thought. And then we have it maxed out halfway through. I think it's 500,000. Why? It wasn't 1 million. I don't quite remember. Sorry. But we need some money here before we even do anything else. Maybe later on we can try out some warehouses, for instance, for long range delivery and stuff like that. It's good practice. Not quite sure how many we can deliver per month. Probably not close to 46 right now. And we can certainly increase the prices temporarily, but we focus on some other efforts here and save up some money in the meantime. That's not a terrible idea in of itself, right? So we milk the customer base for all it's worth here, frankly. And we didn't inflict too much damage, thankfully. Yeah, that should work out just fine, I'm thinking. And how many... yeah, dollars can we get in our coffers here from the bank? Because I don't want to wait around here, you know. Ideally, I want to focus on the next endeavors here right away and utilize this shop to the fullest. Hence all the platforms here. And we also want the town to grow a little bit, of course, around us. I think they will prefer our roads instead of building their own ones. Something like that. And back here we can do some terraforming to squeeze in another terminal if it's all necessary. I think that should work relatively decently, right? Well, maybe it does. I think we should probably reclaim this before the town does. Because they will build more buildings in here, of course. We may not want that. Yeah, this is in range, right? Okay, there we go. Just to make sure we have this earmarked later on for further use. And then it's obviously right, is what I thought. Of course, very limited production. So we have to utilize the other area as well, unsurprisingly. Yeah, that's what I get here, right? Okay, so 2 trains can complete this completely 3 already. So the warehouse angle looks slightly more appealing after all. So we have to count this in for long distance, then I see. Yeah, ideally no terraforming should be necessary. It's maybe a problem because idle trains don't make us any money, of course, as you would think. Really now, I hate the controls sometimes, because in OpenTDD we have different buttons for lowering and raising terrain and also creating level terrain. Not in this game, of course. Okay, we need to find out in my wood, of course, unsurprisingly. Yeah. Maybe 1 train will be enough, I'm not quite sure. I think it will be actually, because production is so low, of course. This also seems in the overkill then, by comparison. Maybe I should have accounted for that, but it's another layer of difficulty they've added to this mission, of course. Yeah, of course they have. Okay, so then we just leave some room here for a second railway line or something like that. From the other sawmill, for instance, we need to have this humming non-stop essentially around the clock. Maybe this time around there is some time to invest in eye candy by chance, something like that. At least a little bit, you know. Don't have it as messy as usual here for us in these missions. Yeah, I think we only need 1 train on the other angle then presumably, right? That's what I figured. In retrospect, it does make some sense when you think about it. Right, it's cheaper to operate, so there's no reason not to go for it, right? But in this case, it does make some sense. Maybe we can repurpose one of those locomotives. I think if we are smart about this, we shouldn't have to worry about a broken pathfinding, since we only have a handful of trains right now. Anyway, just needs a temporary connection here somewhere. Yeah, that's the problem, right? So we need multiple sawmills to even feed only 1 factory. That's unfortunate. This is slightly too far away, so maybe there's need for 2 locomotives already. We can try single track sections with passing loops or anything in between, but it really is a very, very unreliable way in this game. That's recommended. Especially if we want to have things coming along unattended, you know. Yeah, I think we may try that. Just make a temporary connection here someplace. And then take away the other locomotive here somehow. So it can work sometimes, but not all the time, of course. I don't think we can demolish existing platforms without demolishing the entire station, by the way. So, not a problem in this case. Okay, I think we'll be utilizing all of these to the fullest for our production of garden sheds. Something like that. But this is something that should get us started here, I'm hoping. Okay, so this seems to be humming along quite nicely. Of course, with trucks, we don't have to worry about bleeding this completely dry, at least not as quickly. For these operations, we ought to do this, right? Okay, is the stockpile already developing? I sure hope not. No, of course, far from it, actually. Okay, if you want to count in some picture frames and whatnot, we have to go for long distance shipping. By train, of course. 160 kph on level terrain sounds fast, but it's not really fast in this game, of course, as we already know. Yeah, but still not delivering enough wood to satisfy the demand here, I can tell as much. Yeah, the far away line needs to be double tracked as well, I would figure. This seems pretty likely. Okay, dann wird's weiter. I don't want to mess around with passing loops or anything in between. That's very unreliable, of course. Yeah, what did I say about eye candy? There we go. This wouldn't be a problem with maglev, but then again, he wouldn't really be using maglev for wooden products, I believe. At least from what I remember. But the demand later on for raw materials will be so astronomical. Because all the electronic components, they need tons of copper, for instance, and tons of plastic. Everything later on needs plastic. And the chemical plants only give you so much, you know. So that's something to keep in mind. And there we have it. So we didn't earn any money, of course, as it was the very first year, as you would think. But yeah, maybe we cannot build a bridge back here because there's a bend in the rails, really now? That's what I figured. Get rid of their game. I think what happened here was a train passing underneath and immediately broke our selection. Oh, speaking of which. Thanks for that game, once again, being so finicky. And of course, us being unable to pause the game here, right? Okay, so one additional train seems to be necessary. And only the fastest one would make any sense here anyway. Yeah, more garden sheds for the masses, as the saying goes. Yeah, the train is idling way too long here, and way too often for that matter. That's what I figured. Yeah, what are the statistics? How profitable was it? 120,000. Okay, I think I take it. So if you want to build some picture frames, you have to do this from someplace else and then ship them in. Back here, little manufacturing hub, you know, something like that. Or we just use the warehouses someplace and make this all locally. That's probably the smarter idea, frankly. So 3 sawmills, another 3 sawmills, and back here this can be a renegade truck angle or something like that. I think they all have the same rate of production, roughly speaking. Something like that. That may actually make more sense, coming to think of it. We don't have to produce everything locally, of course, or separate and isolated networks and things of that nature. We can be a little bit more advanced about this. As advanced as you can get in this game, of course. Could be useful. We have a different terminal for this precise reason here, of course. Okay, I guess we go for that, just for practice purposes and whatnot. Making sure that the factory isn't too close to the town itself here. I mean, technically we would provide jobs, but of course the inhabitants don't really care about this gesture anyway. Yeah, we can deliver like, how many? More than 50, I believe. 74. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, collect all the wood to Northern angle and then only use some shorter trains for this. Ardo, come to think of it. I'm not quite sure how many we need because it's a 1-to-1 ratio, of course. Yeah, can be very short route here, ideally, something like that. Yeah, something like that, I think it's fine. And then we dump this into warehouse and cart over here. Once again, our trains are a bit too slow for this, actually. It's also not super efficient because we're not earning money directly, you know. Yeah, collect it back here some plates and then cart it out. It's good practice, I assure you. It's the cheapest one of the bunch, but of course it's only for utility. Yeah, how many items can we store in there and which types for that matter? I don't quite remember. Guess we find out pretty shortly, won't we? And I can already foresee that we need to have this quadruple track probably, just to move all the wood out of here. For now we go for 2 and see how good it will be for us. If it will be sufficient or anything in between. Let's leave some space just in case, you know, things like that. Maybe we can also go for some trucks, you know, also not a terrible idea. Because running costs will be a factor, but there's no way we can deliver all this wood just with trucks here. That would be like a super highway type of scenario, which can be done, it can be funny, but as you know, road vehicles in this game are very finicky and prone to breaking down. As is the entire industrial chain. And then have fun figuring this out under time duress. I still don't quite understand why they only give us some wood to work with, and sawmills of course have a very low rate of production. I think it's the lowest except for, yeah, I think it's the lowest except for the mines, right? I think gold mines in particular, maybe also gem mines. But I'm not quite sure about this. Okay, so it was what here? This could also be a truck angle actually. Why don't we try that? I think it's fine. We also will be utilizing this, of course, once we draw away some wood. I think it's 50-50 from the warehouse and the sawmill, something like that. But don't quote me on this. I guess we'll find out in a minute or two. Yeah, oh, of course I would do that. Jesus Christ, man. So goddamn finicky. The fastest locomotive because it's incidentally also the cheapest to operate. Which doesn't make any sense because the old locomotives are obsolete once we do that. I don't think 2 will be enough, but I guess we'll find out. Need to be careful when it comes to warehouses and factories being in the catchment area. Or potentially so, because once again, you accidentally deliver items to the warehouse when you don't want to. Something to keep in mind, right? I think there should be plenty of trucks for one sawmill here, wouldn't you think? Given the low rate of production and all. Alright, let's just see how this will be humming along, hopefully quite well. I don't think it will be enough, why we need more trains for this already. I can see as much. Not a problem. We have some room here for this precise reason. Of course, we cannot build bridges side by side. Another limitation of this goddamn game we have to keep in mind. Really now, come on. Alrighty, that's what I get, of course, I'm trying to be fancy. Yeah, the target was 3.5 million at the end of 1995. That sounds like a long time, but in this game, of course, we already know it isn't really, all things considered. Yeah, I think we have a massive stockpile already of wood, I would figure. I'm not sure if we can even cart all the shit around. So another quadruple track railway line could be necessary after all. I'm not quite sure yet. Certainly we're going to need more trains to the other angle, just selling these picture frames, you know. That seems pretty likely. I guess we can also try to feed in more materials into the garden shed angle, but I don't think it's really necessary. That seems to be alright as it is for now, as far as I can see from up here. Yeah, no surplus of anything, and the same will be applying to the picture frames, of course. Nope, nothing in storage, that's what I thought. So is it going down? Yeah, it is going down, of course, finally. Well, at least that's something, right? I think it should get us started. I'm not sure it's all that profitable, but I guess we find out eventually. Certainly we can't rest on our laurels once again, but we're starting off with a much more complex setup than before. Maybe there's room for even more railway lines around here. Maybe it has to be. 24 picture frames. Are you telling me we need even more trains to this, for this angle here? Okay, apparently we need even more trains than indeed. Is that kind of real? Yeah, it is real, right? So we need to have the... we have to have a quadruple railway line just to ship out these picture frames then. Okay, talking about realism, I like the off. But apparently it's necessary. Okay, I suppose we got more than we bargained for here. Right, I would think. Maybe not the ideal setup here, but hopefully we can manage this, that would be great. And there we have it, we earned 190,000 last year. But squeezing in additional infrastructure into an existing supply chain is a massive headache in this game, as you can tell here, right? Okay. Alright, now we should have enough room for this here, I'm hoping. Yeah, there we go. We need quadruple railway lines just for this here. That's unbelievable almost. Yeah, quadruple railway line just to sell this shit here. It's unbelievable, frankly. And we're going at 160 kph as well, you know. Yeah, even with plus 25% we can't meet the demand. Okay. I guess then we go for some advertising here. Maybe. I guess it's a terrible idea, because we'll be delivering at least a couple more here, right, per month, I think. Okay, otherwise the stockpile wood is overwhelming already. Not quite, but there's certainly additional capacity we should utilize in some way or another. So whether we try that here, in more picture frames. I'm not sure how many we're going to need this time around. I mean, how many platforms I should specify here, of course. Now we could only have so many because of proximity and everything. That's what I figured. Okay, there we go. So it tells us specifically we cannot build any closer or make additional platforms. Unfortunate. But trucks don't make any sense here. Ja, die Railway lines everywhere just for picture frames and whatever. It's completely unrealistic, of course. But that's the level of micromanagement and craziness you have to worry about in this game. So I should hope the 2 additional trains here running non-stop will be good enough, right? Hopefully so. But all the terraforming gets really annoying. Especially if you want to have things neat and tidy, or at least reasonably so. I don't think time progresses quite as fast in the original Transport Tycoon. It's also very fast, don't get me wrong, but not like 1 month every 2 minutes or so, right? Not something like that. But this game, of course, it's the same idea. Keeping you on your toes, building non-stop essentially and whatnot. And building this year, the couple of infrastructure improvements took us like the better part of a year, I would figure. Something like that. Yeah, there's no info button here. We have to click on the warehouse specifically to see what's going on. Okay, isn't that great? And of course, I cannot see last month's statistics, but I think there's a bit of room for additional tracking. Maybe. Maybe there is, right? Yeah, so what's the problem now? I'm not quite sure. There must have been a shortfall here, temporary one. Okay, interesting. So we can at least squeeze in 1 additional truck per route, I think. Something like that. We want, of course, utilize the entirety of the sawmill production since we invested so heavily in this area, as you would think. Okay, so I hope it will be relatively profitable. There only are 4.5 years remaining where we can actually build stuff. Okay, 500,000. So we have to quadruple our efforts here, essentially. Picture frames and so on and so forth. They don't sell for a whole lot, of course. 72. Okay. Yeah, okay, leave a little bit of a margin here. I think that's fine, though. Is there anything else you can possibly funnel in here? Not really, right? Our trains are still waiting, because they're moving the wood quickly enough here. So I tell me we need 2 additional trains for this after all. Or maybe not, it's going down finally. So I think we may have reached some sort of balance here, despite using 6 railway tracks to deliver some wood here. Really now. Okay, but the statistics are kinda crazy, I would think. Yeah, doesn't serve a whole lot wide, it's a problem. But I do like our setup here, of course. Okay, so it is going down, so I think without trains I have to wait for a couple of seconds. It's not a catastrophe. Neither is an idea, but I think it's fine. So then we can focus our attention on some other portion of the map then, presumably. So what shall it be? And that's the first monorail locomotive. It goes at 160 kph and it's slightly more expensive to operate, but of course it's only the first locomotive. Later on there will be faster available. I don't think we have to go for full rate production everywhere. We can just use some trucking here, no? Also not a terrible idea. Distribute these items based on the low rate of production at the sawmill. Not a problem. Especially if we can only build some toy locomotives right now. Shouldn't be too expensive anyway to set up, I think, overall. Given the lack of payout, essentially. 12 toy locomotives, for instance. Alright, I think we try that. A little bit of an isolated operation. I'm not above that, you know. $26, so I'm not quite sure. 3 trucks should be good enough for this, I'm thinking. Yeah, 3 trucks each, and we can also certainly try out some monorail. This mission by not, but of course it's also pricey to set up. That's not going to be super profitable here, but I guess it's better than nothing. Okay, we leave it humming along for a little bit and see what we can do here. And this is holding steady or going slightly down. Yeah, now it's down to 23. I think that's fine though. You just have to hope that there isn't a massive stockpile developing everywhere. Which doesn't seem to be the case, which is good. Yeah, there we go. So picture frames. I've never delivered this many picture frames, I believe. Because usually there are better options available as you would think. Okay, so this portion is acceptable, I'm thinking. So what's the situation? So despite our investment, we have cracked the 1 milli mark and we'll do this exactly. Right, interesting. I like it, so we're getting better at this game, wouldn't you think? Maybe. It could be, but we only have wooden products right now. That's hardly that encouraging. Getting this stuff out of the mountains would be impossible with rail, I believe, right? Wouldn't it be? There's no space for a train station anywhere, so this would have to be collected by trucks then, I guess. Out of the mountains. Yeah, that's not a terrible idea, I think, right? And then we can cut the stuff around to where exactly. First things first, we have to get this wood down from the mountain somewhere, right? Probably. Okay, I think we try that. So the warehouses do come in handy after all, as you can see. But it's not really a monorail angle, is it though? Not really, there's no space for that. Yeah, I guess we try that. I think it's fine. Just have to make sure there aren't any traffic jams developing here, of course. So one separate station for each angle, something like that. We can learn from our previous mistakes, of course. Let's just see about some tunnels here first. Only 20,000 for a tunnel like this here. In real life, I wish white. Yeah, the video would like to build this cheaply, but of course, it's never going to happen. Yeah, keep it all separate. That would be a good idea for the most part, just to make sure. No overlap, no reused infrastructure. It's a problem because there's some terraforming involved. Now I see it. Of course, you can rotate the camera around, but still. I guess we could theoretically reuse that road if we wanted to, but just asking for trouble, isn't it? Other mountainous terrain, that makes some sense. How many trucks are we going to need for this, realistically speaking? Would it matter in the grand scheme of things? It may not, right? Okay. I guess I've been convinced. We're playing dangerous here now. Of course, it involves road vehicles, of course. Okay, so this portion is fine, has been set up. So what are we doing with this wood then? I guess I wouldn't be opposed to selling items in this town to encourage further growth, for instance. The other areas seem to be utilized already, and there we go. So I suppose we are way ahead of schedule, which is nice. So I think we really are getting better. But I still want to try out some monorails then, presumably. Speaking of monorails, I don't think it will be enough to satisfy this video. Maybe not, I'm not quite sure. We will have to wait and see, of course. What will we check back here once in a while, right? Okay, and we also need to lower the prices just a tiny bit, I suppose. Down for the massive stockpile. We can also sell some items over here, of course. Although this town is very small. I suppose why don't we try that? We can show off some monorails, can we not? So what shall it be for us? Maybe some sporting goods? Sure, why not? Let's find some flat terrain around here. A bit of terraforming, and then we distribute these items to multiple outlets, I guess, something like that. That could be interesting. Also more vehicles to buffer it. Like this anthill type of situation. And I suppose this needs to be quadruple tracked yet again, right? Maybe. I'm not sure. But it's once again 3 sawmills, isn't it? And a bit of a distance here, at least in this game. I guess just in case we need some space for that. Monorails are usually elevated, aren't they? I think they are, but not in this game, of course. And I don't think monorails are used for freight transportation, you know. I don't think they are. But okay, we can make some exceptions in this game, of course. But isn't it odd when you think about it? There is no advantage to this at this point in time. They're even more expensive to operate, but they aren't any quicker. I think inclines don't slow them down as much, but still. I guess then we try to show them off. I would like that. Monorails are only a bit of a filler. Later on, you only build mech rail, presumably. At least what I remember. Little else. Yes, you can just produce the stuff locally, I know. But we want to show off some monorails, of course. Even though transportation costs in this game are very substantial. I'm gonna get too sloppy here just for the showcase type of effort. If only there was a level terrain tool, you know? That would make things very easy. At least a bit easier. But in case we have to quadruple the railway line, we have to leave some space for that, of course. Yeah, there's already a problem here, I see. Okay, fantastic. By the way, you can mix trains at any given station because it's different for every single platform, in case you're wondering. Okay, I think it should be relatively fine. Now we think about selling the stuff locally, of course. That would be a good idea, wouldn't you think? Let's just see how many items we can offload here. Yeah, 25, okay. Right in downtown. We demolish the the monument in the middle. I suppose why not? We're only interested in money anyhow. I'm not quite sure how many we can realistically deliver here. 17. Limit of terraforming. I think it's slightly cheaper, isn't it? Alright, I think I like it. So then at this town also can have some skis, I guess. It's not super efficient, but we want to have some fun here, of course. It's not all about accomplishing our mission through any means necessary. Makes more sense anyhow, right, when you think about it, because usually there's a central distribution center someplace. Like this one here. Somewhere, of course. I guess why not? I guess why not? We go all out here. Even though it's hardly efficient. The game is about having fun, you know. Okay, so we have 4 pickup positions, I think. Hopefully we can squeeze it in here somehow. And somehow. Okay, seems manageable, which is nice. You can also min-max this, of course, if you want to. Yeah, keep some distance from the town. We don't want this to be converted to city streets, ideally. It's not quite so quickly. If there were more time, we could also try to build a national road network, you know, maybe even highway, something like that. Okay, so all of this is connected now, so now it's just a matter of getting the deliveries going here, right, wouldn't you think? So we start with a couple of monorail trains. Foolishly, of course. Come to think of it, it's actually too far away, right? So this cannot actually be utilized this way. Whoopsie daisy, because I still have Industriegigant 2 on my mind. And of course, warehouses work decidedly different in this game. And we'll be loading the items into here and then pick them up by train. But of course, in this game, we cannot. We have to have both of them in the catchment area. So it was some money wasted here, of course. But we live and learn, as the saying goes, once again. But it was a relatively expensive blunder by all accounts. Yeah. Both in the catchment area, otherwise nothing is going to happen. And now we can start delivering some wood, I'm hoping. $20 skis, huh? Okay. Who would buy this many? I'm not sure. But I guess we can sell or we can produce here. Probably not all of it anyway. Yeah, let's just say 5 trucks for now. The other towns nearby, of course. We can make the necessary adjustments pretty soon. This is a small one, so 3 trucks should be good, I'm hoping. Okay, 5 should be good, I'm hoping. It is with the current rate of production, so now it just send these trucks on a merry way. So how much was it again? 40. So it is increasing ever so slightly for certain summers, but not all of them, which is interesting. Okay, we do have separate, right? We do. Okay. Want to utilize the entire rate of production ideally. So I'm not going to how many trucks this would, yeah, translate into. Let's just say 8 or so, right? Hopefully that's the correct guess here on my part. This would be much of the same story, I think, right? Yeah, indeed it is. Given the distance, maybe 6 would be good enough. I guess we have to wait and see here, right? Okay, so in terms of, oh, no problem. I think we can make this happen, even though the expenses this year were pretty substantial. And I can already tell there will be a need for more monorails here, unsurprisingly. Oh, then we prepare this terrain for this precise reason already. Now, that's what I figured. And then we cut the access out someplace else, I guess. And then as soon as new locomotives become available, we will probably upgrade them, I would think. Something like that. But it's nice having some monorail on the map, a different type of item we can utilize, or at least mode of transportation. And I'm already paying for my poor planning here, evidently. Not a terrible situation, but still, hardly ideal. Ado doesn't look nearly as tidy any longer, of course, as a result. For which I can only apologize. I don't think that's going to happen, so okay, then let's build a tunnel here someplace, I guess. And yeah, there we go. So we need to have a clean year here, but once again, I don't think there will be time for this video. It's only 2 years remaining where we can build some stuff, and I'm still concerned about us missing the mission parameters here. Could always happen, of course. Supply chain disruption, something like that, you never know. There shouldn't be any traffic jams occurring anytime soon. There we go, finally. Ja, it's a long distance. It may actually not be enough to cut all the stuff out here anyway. As we find out eventually. At least we're selling some skis for the winter season still. Don't forget about saving the game, because I don't think the game autosaves whatsoever. It's not a feature in this game. Yeah, we bought all of the shit here right last year. I think it's waiting for too long, I'm hoping. No, not from what I can tell. That's always a good idea. Looks very nice, does it now? I think I like it. Although, once again, it's not the most efficient setup ever. Don't forget about repaying our loans here, a brief. So last year, despite our expenses, we earned 540,000 almost. But now it's March and we have not even earned 100,000. That's very worrying, because cutting all the shit around here. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so apparently it doesn't make skis obsolete immediately. Surprisingly though, because they do indeed target a different audience. Oh. Well, it says not right now, but it will do so eventually. Okay, that's hard the idea, so we have to stop all of our trains, at least all of the trucks back here, and change the product, I suppose. Maybe we have to do this, right? Okay, I hope this would work. I have to change every single vehicle order, of course, every single one separately. Now, as I said, a bit of a slowdown, but of course, skis are now considered obsolete and old-fashioned. So we have to do this. Of course, since there are no vehicle orders or shared vehicle orders or any grouping thereof, then we have to do is all manually one vehicle at a time. Isn't that nice? But it should only be a temporary disruption, which of course will undoubtedly eat into our profit margin. So once this is running again, then we have to figure something out immediately. We also build, for that matter, something that isn't quite as fancy. Because it looks nice, but it's also pricey to operate. And this stuff doesn't really sell for a whole lot anyway, don't you think? So it's April, and we have earned basically no money, right? I would think, because of the slowdown in production. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, what's stockpile? So 150 units of wood already. I guess then we try to set up a different area here someplace and also save away some wood to someplace else. It seems like a good idea, because we're paying for all this wood we are collecting from the other sawmills in law. That's also a thing. Yeah, what else can we do with this wood here? What else would make sense? I mean, there aren't too many options, you know. That's also a problem. Depends on how much spare capacity we think there is. Yeah, okay. Sister. Okay, a couple more trucks are evidently necessary. Also different out there, because we are paying for the production of all this shit, but we're not utilizing it, you know. That's the thing. So let's just see what you can do in a neighboring town, for instance. Or maybe another toy store here someplace in the catchment area. That could be a terrible thing, you know, so we try that. That means more trucks can be sent on their way. At least a couple more. The stockpile is completely overwhelming, and I don't think it will be quite enough to take care of it, right? So we also send some trucks this way. That's the problem. Once again, we don't really have time to look around and optimize our existing infrastructure, because it's very hectic in this game. So we just have to hope for the best here, essentially. But items in storage, item on the stockpile don't make us any money. Although I do believe in Industriegigant too, they also contribute towards our company value overall, because it's inventory we have and we own, for that matter. Yes, we can search for this if you want to. So okay, hopefully we don't have a massive stockpile over here any longer. So this is going up, I would suppose, and only going up. Yeah, now it's 200 almost. Yeah, what else are we going to do for all this wood here? It's an important question. Otherwise, something local maybe, because this is all very fancy, but it's also very expensive. Extremely expensive, as a matter of fact. And we cannot have that, of course. So is there anything else we can use here as a cargo thing for starters? What do they want? What will pay the bills? Maybe some furniture? I mean, garden sheds again. A good money maker. 15. 21, roughly speaking. It is a start. It is a start we should probably take. Monorails also aren't very cheap to operate, you know. Also thing to consider. But I want to show them off, of course, and now we may be failing the mission as a consequence. It could certainly happen. Or this fanciness not paying off for us. I guess then we set up 2 factories side by side, one for garden sheds and one for picture frames, and hope it will give us what we need. Either we should probably keep them separate, because deliveries will be 50-50, won't they be? I think there will be. Ach, whatever, we're living dangerous now. Why don't we try that? If we don't succeed with this mission, it's not a catastrophe. Although I would like to, of course, win these missions. It's going to get any easier in the other ones, and we're only on mission 4, I believe. Yeah, need to have both of them in the catchment area, of course. It's hardly the most efficient setup. Ideally, you want to keep everything separate in this game at all times, essentially. Especially if you're looking at the same type of material. But I think it's not going to be an absolute catastrophe. And we're living dangerous, of course. But these regular trains will be just fine, I think. Yeah, of course, if we need more platforms, we don't want to do this, of course, necessarily. Just as a precautionary measure. I'm not quite sure it doesn't need to be quadruple tracked yet again, but could be. Now, why we can always put another terminal over here if it's necessary, but double track is certainly necessary. Yeah, that's the problem with mountainous terrain in this game, because every single bit of terraforming is super finicky. Okay, so need to have both of them in the catchment area yet again as a reminder. But you can make this happen, I'm thinking. Yeah, but barely. Yeah, terraforming slows you down tremendously in this game. Month after month after month is rolling by. While you're still building stuff. Yeah, the stockpile was overwhelming the last time we checked, so hopefully this will change once in a while. That would be great. $200 right last time we checked. It's probably even worse now. And we aren't even using all the wood we can get from these sawmills, I believe. Yeah, 300 units of wood now. I suppose that needs to be contributed already. I can see as much. So let's just prepare the terrain here in preparation indeed. I don't want to carve into the entire mountain. That's more expensive than reclaiming yeah, portions of the sea here, essentially. Yeah, so okay, what was the verdict? Okay, not too terrible, but we have to fix our problems here, of course. I think we are getting there finally. I always keep forgetting about that stupid station building taking up one tile, or at least one row of tiles. Yeah, this game desperately needs more precise camera controls and also more easy to use terraforming tools, especially on maps like this. And these will be more frequent later on. So, okay, what's the stockpile? It's going down. Okay, if our trains have to wait for just a tiny bit, it's not an absolute catastrophe. We need to use that wood for something, of course. That's more important. Since you know there should be some spare capacity back here on both of these, we start sending in a couple more trucks at least. And you actually remembered my orders, really? Okay, isn't that nice of you? No, he didn't. Why? Or this vehicle didn't. Why though? I don't understand that, frankly. Yeah, this game sometimes just doesn't make any sense. No consistency. Once again, it erased my orders and didn't remember them. Oh, really now? You can't allow any slowdowns, of course, ideally. Yeah, there's no consistency sometimes. Certainly is a very temperamental game. There's an item we can build, the Game Boy. Or the Game Girl. Of course, you know exactly that is the first generation of the Game Boy. With the black and white screen, it was impossible to see under anything but direct sunlight. I had one of those, by the way, in case you're wondering. Mine was the transparent one. Yeah, that's what I thought. We need, of course, at least one additional train back here now. Oh, what's the problem now? Okay, apparently we have to clear the stockpile already. Interesting. So it goes quicker than you would think, right? Maybe there's one or two trucks too many here, but we have to wait and see, because the shortfall is evidently over here. Yeah, okay, that's too many already here. We need at least one additional train. Somehow. Ah, really now already. Oh man, this is so finicky sometimes in videos, right? Courtesy of poor planning here in this mountainous terrain. Always a delight when it happens. So we have to do it the tedious way then, carving into the mountain, which is probably pretty pricey. At least it does tell us. Yeah, of course we also have to wait for the train to get off the way before we can build anything. Even though there's no impact whatsoever. At least there shouldn't be. Okay, picture frames on high demand over there, also I've heard. Okay, that's what I thought. That should hopefully be a little bit better. Garden sheds, is there any wiggle room here for the profits? Not really wide. That's what I thought as well. Okay, interesting, but I think we're getting there finally. Yeah, okay, I don't think we can deliver this much wood here. The sawmill doesn't provide it, right? So at least a couple of trucks should be a goner then. Was a bit too ambitious here, apparently. So the target is 2.5 million, and we have, despite our expenses, earned 1.6 million already, so I think we're getting there. And then some. That's good. The stockpile should be going down as well, I'm hoping. Yeah, down 8 here. So we will be all up the trucks to deliver the shortfall. So I guess we will grind to a standstill here pretty shortly. I cannot finance the construction of industries unlike OpenTD, in case you're wondering. Yeah, maybe you have to find even more wood here somehow. I don't think that's possible. Or even necessary for that matter. So we go for something a bit easier and simpler and also cheaper, most importantly. Yeah, over here somewhere, so I'm sure it can be utilized. Sure, why not? We have some time to spare, and we want to have a little bit of a safety margin, don't you think? Just in case something goes horribly wrong here, which of course could always happen. And I do like my wooden toy locomotives. As long as they don't have lead paint on them, of course. That used to be a problem back in the 1980s and 1990s, in case you're wondering. Yeah, these are always in demand. They just don't sell for a whole lot, hence the truck angle. There's certainly demand available to make this an entire cargo sink of that stuff. But it's not really necessary. But it comes down to the last 1.5 years, I think, once more. Something like that. I'm not quite sure if there will be a new truck being introduced here, something like that. I think the fancy stuff we have is the monorail mission. Yeah, shortest route ever here, right? At least in Industriegigant 2 we can directly sell these items from a stockpile, which makes tons more sense when you think about it. If everything is very compact, there's no need for transportation because the transportation costs are even higher in the second game, if I'm not misremembering. And there's no way we can deliver this many anyhow here. So it should be safe to squeeze out another 15%. Yeah, I think we will be succeeding this year already. But I suppose we made a smart use of the materials on this map. And we also showcased some monorails for the first time. At least in this season. Very nice. I like it. It's also good practice, of course. So hopefully the members of the board will be extremely pleased with our performance. We don't even have to utilize the final 2 years of this mission. Even better. Oh, really? What's the problem? Okay, it was 3.5 million wide, not 2.5 million. In which case, should we get concerned? I think we should, right? So I take it back then. I'm sorry. So it was only reduced by 500,000 or the 1 million and 500,000. Okay, that's what I thought. So it's not easy in this game, of course, and I might make it very easy. Okay, but regardless, I think with our expenses, we should be able to make this happen next year, no problem anyway. But just to make sure, we can set up an additional industry here someplace, real brief. Yeah, that was a bit of a facepalm moment, wasn't it? I'm fully admitting to that. Okay, this town or this village is really, really small. But I guess there is some customer base here regardless. Yeah, just a couple wide. I think that's fine. So, I think it should be all in this area. So let's just start selling some garden sheds around here. Yeah, the camera really is lacking in precision, right, isn't it? Sometimes it really feels that way. And then one more over here someplace. At least for now, I don't think it will be super high volume operation anyway. We're just trying to earn some money on the side here, essentially. But I think I'm getting better at planning out these things, am I not? For the most part. But it should be all connected together, I'm hoping. There we have it. I think it's well within our grasp here. Especially once this is humming along. And this allows here where we can actually build some stuff, so let's just try to make some optimizations along the way. I think we already have 500,000, so there's no problem anyway here, I think. So we can just sit back and relax it a bit. Enjoy the fruits of our labor, so to speak. Yeah, maybe one additional wood truck in here could be a terrible idea. Alright, and I think it's all the vehicles we need on this side here anyhow. Very nice, I like it. Yeah, it's holding steady, that's what I like to see. So sometimes it can be a little bit reliant on trucks then, even though they're not articulated. No trailers for us. And we're finding this stuff in with 6 separate railway lines. You know what the capacity of a quadruple railway line in real life is? It's outlandish really, which is why you usually see only double-track railway lines, even for main lines indeed. Quadruple tracks outside of station areas are very rare indeed. And back here we're only using one train on any given line. That's extremely inefficient. Yeah, another item we cannot build, of course. But these were very popular in the 1990s and has the fitting color scheme. Yes, yes, the 1990s are calling. Yeah, even delivering over 90 items, we only have 120,000 per month essentially with this stuff. Yeah, quantity over quality, right? I do hope it's quality picture frames. Otherwise, well, there wouldn't be any repeat customers, I guess. Yeah, okay, as you can see, there's a bit of a problem developing already. Because we're siphoning away too much wood here. Guess we're a little bit too ambitious after all. Does it mean we have some problems back here? I sure hope not. I sure hope not. So this is a bit overtaxed, and as you can tell, evidently. A little bit, but there's nothing else we can siphon away, of course. For the most part. Just a tiny bit. is there any risk here, really? Realistically speaking, the target is 3.5 million. I think there's no problem here whatsoever. But regardless, that's something we need to be addressing eventually. Or should be, for that matter. And of course, the zombie isn't going to last much longer here anyhow. I don't think we can find in more items here, really. They have to come from over here someplace. I guess since we can still build this here, why don't we give it a spin rebrief? There can only be some trucks, of course. The terrain just isn't favorable enough. Yeah, okay, then I guess we can still make this happen. Let's just reuse some roads here, even though it's a stupid idea. I really shouldn't do this. I really shouldn't, right? I really should not. But using trucks for this really doesn't make any sense, really. Okay, I didn't even see the other side of the teleporter. So where did we pop out of? I have no idea. Probably all the way through the mountain, right? Probably. In which case it's still usable, I think. Yeah, there's this. Okay, I guess then we go for this. Even though it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, of course. I don't think this would work. Maybe it does. It would almost do this. That's just a bit silly here, frankly, but okay, there we have it. We're funneling in more wood by any means necessary. Even if it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And it should be accessible, I'm hoping, right? In terms of pathfinding. Yeah, indeed it is. Yeah, it's a very long tunnel. With excessive truck traffic, of course. Need like, what, 40 trucks for this? Because it's such a long route. I guess that we start sending them on their way. I think we're up to 10 or so, but I stopped counting already. Okay then. Yeah, of course I can't even see these trucks because they're all in a tunnel, I presume. I really wish you could just order them in bulk, which of course another feature is not available in this game. Including orders or anything in between. It only remembers the very last station you utilized, and even then it's hardly that reliable as we've seen in this game on multiple occasions. Yeah, that should be 40 or something, right? If it isn't, I am aghast here, really. Okay, a couple of trucks are on the return trip at least, which is something. On second thought, you know, it's August of 1994 and we still haven't met the 3 million mark right now. Because of the shortfall we have in the middle here, courtesy of insufficient wood deliveries. So I suppose a couple more trucks is still a good idea. They can only get here once per month, if that at all. But we're getting desperate, I guess. At least I am. After all this work, I don't want to fail the mission. These 7 members of the board would be welcome. If they were to vote for us, of course. Sometimes it's also a good idea to pick up some items on the return trip, you know, so we're not going around half empty all the time. For the entirety of the route. But it's not very easy to do in this game. But maybe we can try this there once in a while if there's some time to spare. And one of those next missions. Especially if we have to gather these resources from far away like this here. I sure hope there's a sufficient number of trucks. We paid 255,000 for new trucks this year. Okay, but it does help out a bit of hoping. Eventually. I'm not quite sure how they prioritize loading these items. But the algorithm looks like I don't have the slightest idea. It's probably pretty basic, I would assume, wouldn't you think? I think it is helping. I think it's actually helping. On all sides of the line, of course. Okay, there's a bit of a delay. In a sensible game, there wouldn't be much of a delay at all, but in this title, it's like a couple of months already of standstill. And that's pretty worrying. But not too worrying after all, because apparently we can succeed with this mission and this year here regardless already. Yeah, I think we can. Interesting. Maybe not quite, but certainly next year is not a problem whatsoever. Assuming, of course, and I think runs to a standstill, like over here, because of the insufficient food deliveries. Which we are trying to address, of course. At least the trucks that are driving around don't incur any running costs, I believe. And of course there's no property maintenance in this game, so I guess. Yeah, only a couple more $1,000 and there we have it. Isn't that quite something? Unfortunately, once this menu pops open, we can no longer look at our scenery here, VD. Okay, interesting. So it was a mission 4 out of 10. Apparently difficulty is 50%, whatever that means. Yeah, I did enjoy my time with this mission here in particular, so let's just see what's in store for us next. Yeah, can we pause the game first, please? Okay, I can already see some items on the map here. Some televisions being manufactured. So what's the deal here? Alright, we are to take over a small company. And we should be expanding with some Ford. Okay, and they want to see a yearly profit of 8 million at the end of 2005, which, given we're talking about electronic components for the most part, is certainly achievable, but also far from easy. Yeah, because we already learned this lesson in the medium difficulty campaign. And this indeed is a very small company. I suppose there are some zombies on the map again if you want to use them for whatever reason. Not sure why we would, because the wood grain televisions are out of style, because it's the mid-1990s, and even in the 1970s we don't have wood grain TVs anyhow. Or plastic wood or anything in between, you know. Okay, at the moment we're only manufacturing some TVs, hopefully with some profit. Though I wouldn't trust the statistics here, of course. At the moment it's still negative, of course, right, as you would think. But we can sell plenty of those things. Okay, interesting. I guess that we figure out a way to expand this operation in the next episode. But for now, I think we're done for today. And with that, I thank you for watching as usual. And I hope to see you next time.